Broadcasting to you live from the northern outskirts of Metro Detroit. It's Move to Combat, a Magic the Gathering podcast, filmed in front of a live studio audience. We have our hosts here, Haley.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Kenny.
Hi.
And nothing serious is going to happen on today's podcast
Absolutely
whatsoever.
not. We started with me laughing, and we're probably going to end with, the same kind of stuff happening.
Yeah. This is going to be like herding cats, guys.
Yeah, so Kenny and I both kind of decided that we wanted a week where we could do something in a very lighthearted and fun way and not have to do a ton of research to educate or deck build or any of that stuff. So today we're going to be talking about the Planeswalkers. But with a twist.
It doesn't hurt that it's Haley's birthday, so it's kind of a birthday present to her because her favorite
Happy
part
birthday
of Magic
to you.
is the Planeswalkers.
Wait, we just got the amount of time. Wait, happy birthday is no longer copyrighted. Take that, censors.
So, let's get this started.
So it's Planeswalkers, but
high school.
But high school. So we're going to be talking about some of the characters that come along with playing Magic the Gathering, some of the most prevalent ones, the Planeswalkers. And we put them in like more of a modern day scenario to talk about them. I should note right before we start, no, we did not include every Planeswalker. We would be here forever if we did that.
This is entirely opinion based.
Yes.
We did.
So make sure to send your hate mail to movetocombatpodcast@gmail.com.
Our favorite kind of
Or
threads.
feel free to text us on the
Text us.
Text
Text?
chat,
Feel free to
stream
text
chat,
us.
stream chat us. I'm a professional podcaster. I know what I'm doing.
So let us know in the comments whether if you're watching this on our YouTube video later, let us know in the comments. If you're watching right now on the stream, let us know in the stream chat how loudly you disagree with us or agree with us. Because this is just purely for our entertainment and
remember,
yours.
I'm totally neutral, and my job here is just to herd cats. So
We're gonna get off track like a lot.
let's get right to it. Multiverse High School.
Welcome to Multiverse High School, where everybody's a planeswalker and nobody is special.
Okay.
So we did design this kind of like a yearbook.
Like a kindergarten yearbook.
Like a kindergarten yearbook.
With very poor clip art.
Liberal
pasted
application.
all over the place.
Liberal application of clip art.
Yes. Terrible use of Photoshop will be showcased at some point in time.
Of course.
So this was just really fun to do. So we're going to get started with some of the faculty.
Yeah. So, obviously, Ugin's the principal.
Yes, he is the great overseer of our marvelous high school.
Yeah, of course. Except he's never there.
He's never there because he's always meeting with the superintendents to make things better.
And the only time he has to show up is when his vice principal, his brother Nico Bolas, is causing trouble because Nico Bolas wants his job but can't do it well.
Yes, Nico Bolas is clearly vying for the principal's job, but he is stuck in the lowly vice principal position. Now, this just makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Why wouldn't it? Because Bolas, everything he's done has been entirely driven by his brother this entire time.
Yeah.
Ugin's always like, I planeswalk, so Bolas is like, well, I want to planeswalk too. So then, Bolas learns to planeswalk and he does the thing. And then Ugin's like, you know nothing of power, and Bolas is like, I'm gonna be the most powerful ever.
Basically just defensive reing whenever he's told off by his own brother.
Nico Bolas like in charge of handing out punishments to students?
Yeah,
and
it
stuff?
does.
It
Yeah.
totally does. No.
When Ugin's not there, Nico Bolas is in charge. But he doesn't do his job very well.
No, in fact, he does it very poorly, but he still really, really, really wants to be the principal. But then again, Ugin doesn't do his job very well either. He often speaks cryptically to students, most often his favorite student, Jace.
Of course.
And manipulates them. So,
Yep.
That's fun. That's all you need to know about those two characters. That's it. In the
Other
nutshell.
than Nico Bolas has no friends among the staff. Like, none.
Everyone
Except
who was his friend is no longer his friend, except for maybe Tezzeret. That's questionable. But Tezzeret isn't really on the staff, and we'll discuss that. Next up. So, Obviously, Teferi's going to be the history teacher. He was
there.
He lived it. He knows.
And if he doesn't know the answer, he can go back in time and find out.
Yeah, very easily. Let's be like, hold up 1 second, rewind time, come back. Okay, so this is the actual answer to your question.
But he's also the history teacher that has an answer for any inane question asked by one of the students. Like,
Yes.
what if this happened? It's like, it didn't happen that way. How do you know?
I was there.
I was there. So no one argues with him.
Yeah, no. He's a very beloved teacher. He seems like he's been around forever, because he has been. He's just great. So, obviously, he's going to be the history teacher.
Of course.
Yes.
Jaya is our chemistry science teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She
Fire.
She makes things go boom.
She makes them go boom in a controlled manner, in a way that teaches.
Unlike her questionably favorite, questionably least favorite student.
Other than the student that interacts with her the most.
Yes, which is often Chandra, and when those two are both in the room together, things go boom far more often.
And I'm of the mindset that, like, this class, like, if this class is going on and Chandra raises her hand to ask a question, the entire class would just close their books, stand up, and leave.
Either that, or they would, like, pull out popcorn, because, like, they
Or
argue
pull
a lot.
out Liliana would pull out popcorn. Everyone else would be just like, it's not worth it.
Yes, that is true. Jaya is one of the pyromancers. She's an obvious choice for chemistry because she had a whole religion started after her because she got really drunk one day, planeswalked there, did some very impressive pyromancy, and then came back 30 years later and they were like, we worship Jaya Ballard. She's like, oops.
Like,
guess I better stay and monitor them.
Shrug. Okay.
I guess I'm a god now.
Yeah, so...
That actually kind of brings us to one of our next teachers.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, I'm a god.
Is the shop teacher.
Karn is the shop teacher.
Cussy Karn.
Cussy Karn. He created an entire race of Phyrexians.
He did.
On accident. From
Yes.
the oil that was leaking from him.
Yep.
Clearly the obvious choice for a shop teacher.
Of course. Like, his entire thing is just like, whoops, I did that, now we must blow it up.
Whoops, I did that, now I must blow it
So
up.
let's build a bomb.
So clearly he's qualified because he couldn't even fix his own oil leak. And accidentally created a whole army of things that you don't want to mess with and now feels responsible for them. So he is the obvious choice
Yep.
for a shop teacher.
He follows in a long line of shop teachers that do not practice proper supervision.
And
Hey,
probably
hey,
have a
listen.
few parts missing.
Only one student has lost a finger this year. Only one.
Sarah fixed him up.
And
It's
Sarah
fine.
fixed them up. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. He cannot be anything other than the shop teacher.
Okay, our next one is a Johnny, and I think we're both of the mindset that a Johnny is the super involved English teacher with all the inspirational quotes on their walls.
Yes, he encourages every student to do the smartest and best thing that they possibly can. You would think he'd probably be one of the best candidates to be a leader, which he does in his own way. He encourages his students in the best way he possibly knows how.
Yep.
Speaking very poetically.
And Teferi may be the coolest of the four main, like, teachers, like history, science, English, and math, but a Johnny's the one that wins Teacher of the Year every year.
Yes. Unless, of course, you get on his bad side, and then which he is the nastiest, like, you don't want to mess with him if you get on his bad
He will
side.
throw, if you throw
Yes.
shade, he'll throw shade right back.
Yes. And he'll throw it back 10 times worse, and you will probably leave crying and never come back again. But everything else about
He's just a big sweetheart.
he's just a big sweetheart.
And Sarah is our school nurse and ethics teacher and just general elective if they need someone to fill something.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously times are hard. Budget cuts have to be made. So somebody's got to be the nurse because obviously we couldn't afford a school nurse. And obviously the obvious choice for it is
Sarah,
Sarah.
obviously.
Sarah, because she's the ethics and religion teacher and she only teaches like 2 classes a day because nobody wants to take that class.
They have to, but they don't want to.
Yeah, but she's the best and most qualified person to teach it because she literally has a church named after her.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing.
She has an entire Like, she created a reality.
She is a religion.
She created a reality.
The Church of Sarah.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting concept.
On the plane of Sarah.
Yeah. So she's quite qualified to teach about religion, and also probably one of the best healer characters you could have because she's an angel.
She's a human, not an angel. She makes angels.
She makes angels. There we go. Sure. So she is a human, but she definitely makes angels, and if she can make angels, maybe we shouldn't have her as the nurse. That could be problematic. I just went in for a sore throat. Now I'm an angel. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's no big deal. You're better now.
You're better now. You're so better now. Okay. Then, more faculty.
So,
Soren is the drama department teacher.
Yep, Soren is the drama department teacher, and he loves Victorian era plays.
Oh,
and Shakespearean drama, of course.
Shakespearean drama is his jam. Anything from that era. The kids jokingly call him a vampire. They think he's from that time period.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Clearly the most dramatic. Do you see that
obviously.
pose? That's his good side.
Well, he doesn't have a bad side, but...
Debatable. And then right next to him you have Nahiri, who's the sports administrator. So, she loves playing with her rocks and stuff and is definitely qualified to hurl large objects at people that she doesn't like.
She's a champion shot put thrower.
She's a champion shot put thrower. She was an Olympian, and then she got washed up in a career-ending injury, and now she's the sports administrator at her local high school.
Yep. And now she has to fight for funding with the drama department.
Yes, they are constantly fighting for funding because, once again, these are rough times. Budget cuts have to be made. But obviously, the football team needs new uniforms again this year.
Yep. And nothing gets done at staff meetings because they're always arguing.
Yes, these two are just constantly fighting. You sit down at the staff meeting and they're like, does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up? And here
They both raise their hands.
They're both like, yes, Soren's like, I want to perform this musical this year and we need everything for it. So we need new costumes, we need new set designs, we need this. And here's like, no, whoa, wait a minute. No, you don't need new costumes. You can use the same costumes in West Side Story as you did for Grease. Obviously, it's fine. The football team needs new uniforms again this year. No, you don't. I understand that we just got new ones last year, but our rival high school used metallic printing on their letters this year. We need that, obviously.
I like how they're both equally.
They're both super petty. Obviously, this fight between them is super petty.
There's also a string of pranks going on. Like, sometimes the football field will be painted the wrong way, or sometimes the in response the stage will have like turf on it.
Yes, super petty disputes because Soren got really greedy one year and used half of the football budget for putting on West Side Story, obviously.
Of course.
So Nahiri and him have hated each other ever since.
Yep.
Next up.
So Tamia's our librarian. She likes books. She doesn't like people, but books are fine.
So Tamia was the keeper of stories, so obviously she would be the librarian.
Of course.
Who puts up with no one's shit and walks out immediately if she sees Liliana and Chandra both walking in at the same time. Because she is not here to deal with other people's shit, she just wants to handle her books.
Of course. And she's not afraid of just kind of like forcibly removing you from the library.
Yes. She will forcibly remove you from the library, but sometimes that's just too much work.
Yep. Ashiok. So Ashiok is our guidance counselor, and they like to crush other people's dreams.
Yes.
So they see these bright-eyed students come to them, and they're like, "So what's your dream?" "Oh, I want to be a singer." "Oh, do you have connections in the music industry?"
Have you been singing since you were 3 years old?
Yeah, no.
Do you have a coach?
No.
Do you have references?
No.
Did you get the lead in the school musical?
No.
Garbage.
Well, here's this pamphlet for the local community college. I suggest you pick up a trade.
Yeah. So Ashiok just eats your dreams and feeds you nightmares for the rest of your life. The obvious choice for a guidance counselor.
Yep.
And then you've got Doretti, who is the janitor.
And Doretti is a handicapped janitor. He lives in his wheelchair is actually a trash can.
He's a rolling trash can. He just picks up all of the scraps.
Yep. They have to regularly chase him out of the robotics lab. He'll just hide in there, and then when they leave, he'll just steal their stuff.
He steals all of the scrap parts that they left laying around, and then when they're looking for him the next day, he's laughing. He's got a new cool addition to his wheelchair.
Mobile trash can.
His mobile trash can. Alright, next up.
Whoops, I backed up.
Backwards!
Backwards!
You guys put two of the same thing.
I did
You guys
not.
are trying to mess me up.
I
Blame
didn't do
me for
anything.
problems.
It's not your fault.
I didn't do anything.
Student council.
So our student council.
Bond is secretary.
So our president is Jace. Jace didn't want to be president, but he's Ugin's favorite student.
Yeah,
So he gets to be president.
We'll get more on him later. These are the student council members who wanted to be in student council, and that's why Jace opted out of this page. He didn't want to be a part of it. He wanted nothing to do with it. So he got his own senior block.
Yep. Vraska, I think the only reason Vraska wanted to be vice president was because she has this huge crush on Jace and just lets her get to spend more time with him.
Yes, and Jace is like the only person in the school that actually kind of likes her.
Yeah.
So when he got nominated for president, she's like, "I'll be your vice president." He's like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
And then he never shows up to student council meetings, so she's the one in charge.
Right, and the only reason Jace won. The only reason Jace won in the first place is because everyone else was terrified of what Vraska would do to them if they didn't vote for Jace. So they all voted for Jace, so she became vice president. And yes, no, Jace doesn't even show up to meetings. He's usually sleeping in a corner. So Vraska just runs everything.
Yep. She's also the queen of the death glare. Just gonna put that right out there.
Which is why everybody voted for Jace.
So Kaya's our treasurer. It's the least... She did it to get something on her transcript and then never shows up for it.
Yes. So
And when she does show up, she'll just mysteriously vanish.
So she needed a new thing on her transcript for college. So she was like, "What's the easiest thing I can do?" Well, in the story, she's the head of the Orzhov Guild, which obviously means she deals with money.
Of course.
She's got money in the bag. She's going to college for accounting.
Obviously.
She has an assassin gig on the side to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But she decided to become the treasurer and makes all of the final money decisions. And then when they're sitting there arguing, they're like, "Are you sure we can't have the money?" And she's like, "Yes, you cannot have the money." And then they all turn around and they turn back and she's gone because her word is final.
And that's it. She's just gone. She does the same thing in class. When she doesn't want to take a test, she'll just disappear.
Yes.
It's like, wasn't Vraska here? Or wasn't Kaya here? Yeah?
Yeah, where'd she go?
Ah.
So then we have Dovin Bond, who is the secretary. Nobody likes him enough to make him president.
But he's got the school manual memorized.
Yes. It cannot be denied that he knows every rule and follows them to a T. So he will get the job done, and frankly, other than maybe Vraska, he's the only one getting the job done. So they had to give him a position on student council.
Of course.
So he's the secretary.
Yep.
Works for me.
It makes perfect sense.
So Jace is in charge of a lot of things that he doesn't want to be in charge of.
Yes. So he is the class president, obviously because he was the most
He was Ugin's
obvious
favorite.
choice. He was Ugin's favorite, and also he had Vraska backing him, so it was only a matter of time before he became the class president. He's also the valedictorian, which was not listed on here yet because it wasn't announced when the yearbook was published.
Of course.
So...
And
So
he's that smart kid that doesn't actually try to be smart. They're just smart.
Yes, he got into Harvard and Yale without actually applying.
With a full ride. They just
Full
sent him
ride.
an invitation.
They sent him the letter in the mail, and he's like, "I don't remember applying here." And they're like, "Well, you're in."
And when people ask him what he's going for, it's just kind of like, oh.
He's just getting a liberal arts degree.
Yep. He just shows up and gets full grades and then valedictorian, and then he just kind of walks off and takes a nap. He doesn't say it, but it's because he totally cheats on all of his tests.
Yes, because the joke is that he can read minds because he never studies. No one ever sees him in class awake because he's always napping in the back of the classroom, and yet he gets perfect scores on everything.
Yep. He's the only student in the school that got a perfect score on standardized testing.
Yes, and it's because he sleeps in class so much that his teachers have done stuff to coerce him into being the captain of the chess team and also a mathlete.
Doesn't hurt that he can read minds.
Yes, it doesn't hurt that he can read minds. So that makes him a perfect candidate. He is the reigning regional chess champion.
Yeah, I think the teachers probably started trying to get him off, like, put him on tilt by asking him questions while he was asleep, and he just answers it and goes back to bed.
Yes.
You're just like, this one, and it's correct.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Gideon.
Gideon's the captain of everything.
Yes, literally, he can only play 3 sports per year because that's how it works out with the school schedule. So he had to choose football, basketball, and baseball, but he's the captain of all of them. And he's been the MVP for all of those teams for all 4 years of high school.
And they have repeatedly tested him for performance-enhancing drugs.
Yes.
They are not there.
Everybody likes him. There are no performance-enhancing drugs. He is the MVP and the captain because he makes everybody on the team feel welcome. He gives them all a role, and he makes sure that everyone, everything that gets done is for the players on the team to make them perform at their highest level.
It doesn't hurt that they don't actually have to try as hard as they need to with him playing.
Well, you know.
I mean, let's be real. Once Gideon steps up to the plate, are you expecting there not to be a home run?
No.
It's like, free 4 points. Okay.
Yes. So that's just it. Gideon is the man.
He's also really, really bad in academics.
Oh yes, he's terrible, but because he's so good at sports, he's passing everything.
Yep.
He is the classic case of
passing.
We need our sports star, so he's passing classes. And he's nice enough that everybody wants to help him pass his classes too.
Of course.
So it's not just the teachers, it's the students.
I don't know. I think it's believable to say that Liliana may have passed him like a fake study guide for lols.
It's entirely possible that Liliana passed him a fake study guide. Speaking of Liliana, Liliana Vess. She is the most likely to succeed by any means necessary.
She also has the best smile.
She has the best smile. You either hate her, or you want to be her, or both at the exact same time.
Yeah, she's also the student that, like, finds sociopathic joy in just making everyone else's lives miserable.
Yes. She's that weird anomaly where she hates everybody and nobody really talks to her, but somehow she's like also one of the most popular kids in the school. And nobody knows why, but everybody knows that you don't mess with her.
Yeah.
Her only friends who will sit with her at lunch are usually Gideon.
Or Chandra.
Or Chandra. Chandra likes sitting with Liliana as well. But they mostly just sit there and pick on each other.
Yep.
It's a very interesting spectacle if you've ever seen it.
Would she compete with Raska for Jace out of spite?
No.
Yes, absolutely.
You think?
She absolutely would compete with Raska for Jace at his play. Because you see, Liliana and Jace used to have a fling in like their freshman and sophomore year, and then he was done playing games, and then she realized she actually had feelings. And Jace just doesn't care anymore.
And now her and Vraska hate each other.
And it's like a weird standoff in the hallway. You
Fight,
just
fight,
avoid the
fight,
hallway.
kiss.
You avoid the hallway by the science room during 5th period. Because you don't want to run into these two together.
Because they cross paths, and then the entire room drops by like 10 degrees.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And Jace is just in the corner. He just walks by not paying attention.
She has a habit of getting in trouble a lot, but never facing her punishment for them. So everybody's just waiting for to catch up with her.
She's also the student that talks her way out of everything.
Everything. She hardly attends class and gets away with it.
Yep.
Next up is Shauna Nalar.
Yeah, so she's the girl on the football team. She's the girl that probably
gets everybody fired
yeah,
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
She blew up the chemistry lab once. It was a complete and total accident, though. You have to believe her. It was totally an accident. She didn't mean to make everything blow up. She just really wanted to know what happened when you mixed those two chemicals, even though Jaya explicitly said not to.
Which means it was not an accident.
It was totally an accident. It was 100% accident. How was she supposed to know that those two chemicals will react, despite the fact that her teacher said something 7 times?
And now she's never allowed in the chemistry lab by herself.
No, she's never been allowed in there by herself. She just does it out of spite. She always wanted Jay to teach her, and when Jay had tried to teach her, she decided she didn't want to learn anything. And so now we're just constantly facing the consequences of that. Yeah. But she's got the best team spirit. She's best at getting everybody fired up.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
You could say she lights a fire under their butts.
You totally could. Next up, we have Nissa.
So Nissa's the student that always has a petition.
Always trying to get you to help her cause.
Low-key, she totally grows.
Well, she's the founder of the gardening club for a reason. What do you think the gardening club grows? Flowers? Yes, but underneath it all.
There's a secret hydroponics lab somewhere. They just haven't found it.
Oh, it's not a secret. Everybody knows where it is. The teachers just look the other way because...
They get their stash from her, too.
They get their stash from her, too.
Hydroponics is full of tomato plants, but they haven't really sprouted at all in the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
She is also an avid climate change advocate, as well as everything else she petitions for.
Yep.
She gets called the happy hippie a lot.
Yep. She's a PETA activist. She's all about veganism.
Why would she be about veganism? The plants are more important than the people.
That's true. She's a total carnivore.
She's 100% a carnivore
like
because the plants are more important than the people.
Like the wood elves from
Darwinist
Skyrim. They only eat meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
How dare you eat a plant?
You cannot eat plants at this school. What do you think this is?
You can smoke them.
But you
sure can smoke them.
You just can't eat them.
All right, who do we got next?
Don't worry,
next
the
up,
plants
we
are high
have
too.
Ralph.
Raul Zarek.
He has the most electrifying personality.
Yeah, he's the student that everyone knows he's in the room when he's there.
Yes. He definitely commands a presence. He is the head and the founder of the robotics team. He is constantly in competition with Jace and is very angry that Jace managed to get valedictorian and he did not.
Because he's second.
Because he's second place.
Salutatorian.
As usual. He also ran for student body president
and lost. I mean, yeah.
Yes. And he frequents the LGBT meetings at his school with his boyfriend. He just doesn't advertise it because why would he?
Of course.
It's very low-key. He's very normal about it. People actually get surprised when they find out, but he's okay with that.
Yeah, he likes the surprise.
He likes the surprise. but he's incredibly intelligent, and that's why he founded the robotics team.
I feel like he'd be best friends
You
with
could
Lily.
say he's magnanimous. You get it?
Yeah.
And he cherishes the robotics team because it's the only club that he's the leader of, and it's the only thing he's better than Jace at.
I feel like he and Lily would eat at tables and people watch and make fun of them together.
It's entirely possible.
The only thing he's better at until Jace tries.
No.
No.
Okay. Next up, we have Sargon.
His worse. Sargon.
Sargon's our D&D kid.
Oh, Sargon Vol. Okay.
Yeah.
Founder of the D&D club. Yay! Best Halloween costumes.
He wears cosplay to school. He's always either in. No one knows if he's in character or not.
Yeah, nobody knows if he's in character or if that's just the way he is. He often asks to be called the Dragon Speaker. But he really does have the best Halloween costumes. It's a treat every single year. And sometimes he wears like some other costumes to school and people aren't quite sure about that, but they just let him do it because he's doing his thing.
I just imagine some kid in high school being like, actually my name's Dragon Speaker.
No, he's still Sargon. He's just Sargon.
I know.
He requests to be addressed as the Dragon Speaker.
Which is true, but I'm just saying.
And you can tell by his quote that he loves playing a barbarian because he says, never corner a barbarian, you become the path of least resistance.
He's the D&D kid most likely to flip tables.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's always the DM because he can't get other people to play with him. There's 3 kids in the club, and so he's just very excited that those 3 kids show up every week.
Absolutely.
Yes. Next up, Tibble gets the award for most improved.
He was failing his senior year, like he wasn't going to graduate.
Yeah, everybody thought that he was going to be a super senior, but he showed them.
Yep, out of spite, he went and got straight A's.
Yes. He went on to succeed in life while everybody else did not. Except for maybe Liliana.
Yeah.
Except probably Liliana. But yes, it should be noted that he went from being the worst kid in the school to the best kid. He couldn't quite save his GPA perfectly, so he didn't get up in like the valedictorian area. But he definitely passed, and that's what matters.
He graduated. He walked.
He walked.
That's what matters. And when he walked, he took his diploma, he stared at the crowd, and then just lit it up. And walked away.
Of course he did, because why wouldn't he?
While cackling maniacally.
Next up is Domri Raid. He's the class clown. So this guy, he thinks he's funnier than he is. He's mostly just obnoxious, but he definitely has his moments.
Yeah, Liliana definitely takes the time to whisper little jokes into his ear for him to yell out into the class during a lesson.
Because he has absolutely no problem disturbing and disrupting everything he possibly can.
And he's Nico Bolas' least favorite student.
Well, that's debatable. That's debatable because he likes trying to impress Nico Bolas. He doesn't always do the greatest at it, but he tried his best, and that's what counts. Because you best believe when Domri gets fired up about something, he just goes for it.
Oh, of course. He's the student that you can just prod into just like, hey, I bet you can't do this. And he's like, watch me.
Yeah.
I was kind of like that in high school. I never refused to bet for somebody.
Domri is definitely the watch me kid.
That's funny.
He's the hold my beer kid.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, he is the hold my beer kid. Frequently, he throws the best ragers on the weekends, too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he throws the best ragers. Just, that's the only reason everybody deals with him being the class clown, is because he throws the most amazing parties. It's just chaos everywhere.
Of course.
Next up is Saheeli.
Saheeli is the art kid.
Yes, she is best known for her sculpture work. She has won many major awards in her years at high school and has been offered all of the scholarships. She is most inspired by animals, but, you know, as you see from a little bird human guy and flying thopter thing, that she's very versatile in her work as well.
Of course.
But she's most excited by her new upcoming project that's going to be her senior showcase, and that is her dinosaur exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's inspired by a specific student that we don't have mentioned here.
Very much so. And then next up, the Robotics Club. This is where I told you the beautiful Photoshop works comes in. Tezzeret. He's the coach of the Robotics Club. He's not actually a teacher here. Nobody knows where he came from. He just showed up one day and said, I'll be the sponsor for your club. And they're like, great. Sounds great.
Yeah. He's also Nico Bolas' only friend.
Yeah, him and Nico Bolas sit together at lunch because nobody likes either of them, and all of the students have like a 10-foot radius around them.
Yep. If they eat in the lunchroom, most of the time they're in the student or in the teacher lounge by themselves. Sad and alone.
No, they're not allowed to eat in the teachers' lounge. They got kicked out. That's why they eat in the cafeteria.
Too much plotting.
They're on constant cafeteria duty because none of the teachers want to eat with them. Because they really creep them out.
Yeah.
And then, last, we have to...
In loving memory of
Elspeth. We lost her too soon. We did.
She really just transferred.
She just transferred. She transferred, but we were devastated by it. Everybody acts like she's dead, but she's not. She's coming back.
She's just transferred.
She just transferred. It'll be fine.
Oh my god.
So that's what we got. I know it's kind of a short episode, and hopefully you learned something in all of that.
Yeah. I learned things.
I don't know if you did, but hopefully you did. See, the thing about these characters is like what we described, that's their personalities.
Yeah.
It's totally what it is, so we might not have given you, like, actual bits of, like, the story or things where they come from, but their personality is what makes them unique, and the fact that we can sit here and joke about this for, like, 40 minutes is really where the fun of Magic comes from.
Yeah, and we've got a couple new Planeswalkers that came out that we wanted to think about, but we didn't have enough info on?
Yeah, so, like...
But they're freshmen, so they don't matter.
Yeah, so
Freshmen don't matter.
the freshmen don't matter. Obviously,
No.
we only showcase the seniors here.
Right.
The real guys who have been around for a few minutes. Like, we have Oko, who is just a smug little brat, and he's probably going to take over as class president someday, but he's still a freshman, so who cares, right?
And the twins are super capable at what they do, but they're really creepy because they're twins.
Will and Rowan, yeah, they're, like, super creepy and really close.
Like, creepy close.
Yeah, that's why they're creepy, is because they're so close, and everybody, like, questions what's actually going on there. It's a really uncomfortable topic, so we just didn't want to cover it today. You know? And then there's also Garuk, who, like, he definitely has a spot on the football team, but,
I know
like,
what Garuk is. I can't believe you guys didn't think of it. Garuk's the groundskeeper, obviously.
Why would no?
No.
Garuk is not the groundskeeper. If anything, he's like one of the defensemen on the football team, and he's been suspended several times for like being too violent with the other players.
Mm-hmm. Lily will flirt with Gideon and then leave a snide comment at Garuk and then walk away.
Yeah,
For funsies.
Garuk is definitely hardcore bullied by Liliana. He cannot stand her.
Ouch.
He has a vendetta against her,
Oh yeah.
and everyone like her.
You could say he likes to hunt players on the football field.
He likes to hunt players. So sometimes, he got expelled for his last incident. It was an accidental death. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we just kind of wanted to do something fun and lighthearted. We hope you got some entertainment out of this and hopefully learned something a little bit, maybe. At least laughed at us for being stupid. That'd be great.
I did that.
We laughed at ourselves for being stupid, don't worry.
Hey.
All right, that's about
think
it,
that's
guys.
it, yeah.
That's
All
it.
right, so if you liked if you liked
That's
this
it.
broadcast, leave us a comment on our YouTube or send us a tweet at Twitter at @ToCombat. Send us an email at movetocombatpodcast@gmail.com. And check us out here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at https never mind, I can read the whole thing. Twitch.tv/movetocombat. Anything else you guys want to add aside from having happy birthday and a great weekend?
I promise we're not normally like this. Usually we have at least some semblance of having our stuff together, but we wanted to have fun this week.
No, silliness is good. Silliness is good.
Make sure to leave comments on any videos we do on YouTube. It helps us out a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And, I don't mean to be the like, comment, subscribe guy, but you can always
comment,
comment,
subscribe.
Yeah, but it helps.
It does help. Share with your friends. All right. Have a good night.
We apologize.